Buna. It's time for Xbox episode 2. Last time I covered my first 3 games, so it was spring break of 2002 in February. I remember we went to this one electronic focused shop and I got finally after a long anxious awaiting the bundle with the console and Jet Set Radio Future and Sega GT. And only perhaps 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks after that, maybe even not that much, in another shop I saw Halo Combat Evolved for decent price, so I decided to pick that one up. And then I was really in high heaven, since I started to realize that in almost all the shops I usually visited there were quite ample amounts of Xbox games at sale prices, including this next one. It's a bit too dark. Just feel that very posting. It's too bright. This is always a nightmare with this camera, at least. I really need to upgrade my setup. That looks fine. So we are dealing with Tecmo here and Dead or Alive 3. Back when actually the magazine is now on the table, which was the first magazine that that really sold the Xbox idea to me. It has some gorgeous screenshots and previews of Halo, and then there is this game that looked even better than Halo. Let's see quickly some settings. Yeah, it all seems fine, and it's maybe time for another tuning. So yeah, I had seen some bits about Dead or Alive 2 on PS2, and my main experience with fighting games was on PlayStation 1 with Tekken 2 and 3, so this looks absolutely upgrade gorgeous compared to those Tekken games, and it also looks noticeably better than Dead or Alive on PS2, especially the jagged edges were a big complaint, and at least in the screenshots they weren't visible at all. It looked really smooth. Of course it's a fighting game, so it's not exactly as impressive as with Halo, having the huge worlds and everything, but really mind-blowing nevertheless. Let's go with the story mode, which is what probably I started with training, but let's skip that one. Kasumi was always my go-to. So I think I said perhaps before that early on I always geared towards the default choice: Cyclops, Red Ranger, Captain America, Leonardo. So I was in my early teens, so seeing the gorgeous woman was definitely a plus. And there was time when I liked all of these more than others, but Kasumi was the main idea back then, and it still is. But immediately after you can see the snow here and the trees, and the whole layout looks amazing. It's a bit all over the place, but that's also somewhat organic. and just as important as the technical sharpness and visual effects is the combat that looks and feels amazing. The cutscenes are gorgeous as well. But even back then when I played Tekken, it always felt somewhat stiff. You move slowly, you attack slowly. I mean, there's a reason why it works like that. Of course, same with Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, but this was always my thing. This is way more visually impressive. You move fast to all sides, directions. You sidestep smoothly. You can do dashes forward and retreats backwards. And the way you can like pause different movements in the middle of your kick combo, you can sort of slow it down or increase the pace. And how in training you have these punch combos, kick combos, like preset combos, but you can still combine your attacks in many ways. You can do 3 punches, or you can do the same 3 punches and kick, and you can do a high kick or a low kick. Back then no other game was anything like this. I remember the magazines talked about this rock, paper, scissors type of combat, but it seems to work as well. The counters in this game also work a lot better than in the other main fighting games I've played. These cutscenes are a bit corny and the whole plot is kind of irrelevant and low-key, but again, compared to what I knew back then, it wasn't anything too bad. At least the cutscenes look great and all the characters have their own story and so on. And even basic levels like this look quite nice. It was fun just to play the training. Now with bigger TVs and all that, it's not immediately as impressive. Oh no, this is a cheap as boss, but still not too bad. I really don't want to get stuck here though. Okay, not on my first try. But this last boss is a bit random. Not nearly as bad as in some other games, but the last bosses seem to be something kind of difficult. This is definitely more cheap and more difficult with some other characters, at least in my opinion. Kazumi has great movement skills with the somersault and the backward cartwheel and so on. Ooh la la. I have bought some action figures based on games, and Kasumi is still one that would be nice to have, but they are either too tacky and pornographic or just plain ugly. This was now much faster than on my first try. I lost to Omega at least 20-30 times. But that's of course at some point I learned the basic movements he does. And that especially with Kasumi it's somewhat easy to counter many of them. So what was that? 10 minutes? Okay, what I'm going to do with the rest of my time? I guess I might as well go with this. This theater was really fun, especially once you unlock Christie's and some other endings, and even all of my friends gathered around to look at the videos. But there are some others like Bayman with the Batman style, Schwarzenegger style action scene that works great as well. And in general I love unlock screens like this. It's just so fun to see that my objective in this game is to collect all of these. No more, no less. Basically. Sparring mode. Maybe that's for the last. Time attack mode. Why no? Let's go with tag. And now I'm gonna choose my favorite, and I choose my second favorite. Overall, there was a time when I preferred Tina, and time when I preferred Jack or whatever was his name. But let's now go with this team. I'm now using again my new room setup, and I have another Xbox, the crystal one. I bought it just for this thing. I hope it works okay. But I still use the Duke because that's what I work with. There was also the fact that Tekken didn't make me want to learn any martial arts. It seemed so distant from that, but after this game I got interested in karate and Muay Thai, and even this ninjutsu stuff is interesting, even if I have never actually considered doing this. But some karate and Muay Thai and some others as well. Somewhat thanks to this game. Sort of doing something between the smashing buttons and trying to do what I remember, and it still feels great and looks great as well. Really smooth, like the hits connect and the opponent body reacts in quite realistic fashion when I hit up or down. These tag matches were, of course, really fun. the way you can sense through a throw action or just pick a nice time to do it. Definitely top tier action, top tier visuals. Audio is also great with all the grunts and screams during fights are work well as well as the actual combat sounds. Music is a bit all over the place. Not the greatest classics, but still work. Railway. Like there, I just jumped over her sweet kick, and it looked like I just missed it. It looks really intense. And even the AI is still on I'm not sure if in this mode it actually does anything, but it offers a decent challenge. I really love how that was kind of surprisingly easy. But then I have dozens and dozens of hours in this game. No name. Okay. And a new console, so there's nothing to compare. I'm getting really serious with this stuff since I even have a dedicated console now for this. Top marks. And then the survival mode. Let's still go with tag. This time it's now with Tina. And change it up a little bit, so let's take Jack. Not my best ones, but I think I'm a good B+ player with both of these. Or was. It's some time since I played this, but not that long. So yes, I was going to say that this game really perhaps spoiled me in regards of fighting games, since this looks amazing, sounds amazing and plays amazing, but most importantly perhaps there are all the modes. You have a somewhat actual story mode. Then you have the time trial mode. Usually they are a bit lackluster, but here it delivers exactly what I would expect. Just a group of matches solo or tag. And then there's also the option for co-op, which is good. And this survival mode, which is also in many games it's really basic, like in Tekken you need to wait between every fight and you don't have tag matches, at least in the old ones, and no co-op, and it's just nowhere as this fluid. This is like constant Hollywood action. Yeah, fine. And in this survival mode you can also, as I learned much later, that you can unlock more suits, or outfits, which is the other actual thing to do besides character endings. It's really cool how you, even after dozens of hours, you unlock something new. But once again, it's not too crowded, like in some games it feels even too crowded. You have hundreds of outfits, like in the Dead or Alive 6, and it's really monetized and all that stuff. It's annoying. I need that pineapple. I forgot that you need. That health aspect. Yeah, there were lots of friends with who I played the co-op, and some versus 2 since it's 4-player option. You know, that's darn. Not really great, but I'm not sure if I use this pairing, since they clearly have lots of unique moves. But still winner. Best score even if I didn't score 10 wins. My record is something 30. It was perhaps with just Kasumi. How far are we? Maybe one more round, but maybe now change the characters a bit. Let's take Kasumi, so no excuses there, and Beifang is also nice. So yeah, even by default it's a great fighting game, and then you have lots and lots of extremely well done modes. Really exceptional compared to fighting games from then, and even now when I play games they are like Marvel vs. Capcom. It's always really light on content and modes and all that. Story, time trial, survival, and then there are still more modes to go. So yeah, let's not spend too much time with this. It's easy to get stuck here, especially this survival is so pick up and play. that near miss also. In many like fighting games that would count some as some sort of hit, but here you can have these almost matrix moments. It's really cool how it also punishes if you use the same attacks. It gets really easy to read them and punish them with strong evades or counters. Darn. Now just do. On the plus side you now get all the health items. Marginally better. Okay. That's the main thing. Let's see what else. Survival mode, deck battle mode. Was this just... Oh, actually I forgot this exists. What to do. Should I stick with my main? I maybe stick with my main still. But here let's try... not Leon. Leon really is not my favorite. Let's go with Payman. Some Sam Fisher action. Yeah, not Batman, I've talked about Batman before. It was something stealth. Brutality, but it's even more like Sam Fisher. This guy too fierce. Like some sorcerer faction hero, Navy Seal or whatever. Here you have this octagon arena or some with the audience and everything, so kind of makes imagination run in terms of what is happening here.
Get ready,
No chance. This aquarium is perhaps the most boring one. You can't. There's no interaction. So you only see some decent looking fish there. But it's fine too. The action is too good to really notice. And you count how many combos I'm doing, or how many repeats I'm doing. Oh no, that was good move from you. I need to delay the game so my friend can heal. Okay, now it doesn't really matter since I'm way ahead. Tina's song is perhaps the best one. Another delicious move with the high round house punch followed by crouching sweep. Taking turns with the 3 in a row. That's impressive even for me. Almost 4 in a row. I'm starting to get the hang of this engine. There he was able to continue the combo that I saw him doing. It's something that surprised me. He is probably the most annoying guy in the game, just because of the screams and a couple of annoying combos. Okay. Now I need to... Yeah, shut down. That's lucky. Darn. Stop blocking me. Oh no, now I'm being screwed. Not yet. At least I got him. Okay, well. Slight delay. That was some advancement that they're required. Doof. Yeah. That was solid run.
Winner! Get ready, fight!
Oh no, 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 no. I need to shock them up at least. Ah. One chance, one chance. And there is some juggling possible, even if it's not like in Tekken, where, and especially in Mortal Kombat, where it's really sticky and juggling is the most important way to do anything. No, 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 that wasn't the move I wanted to do. It was going well, but this is perhaps the toughest combo. And Lei Fang is not that hard, but this is probably the guy I hate the most. Or harder difficulties. But the balance is still fine in the game overall. Even the final boss is decent, even if you can't play as him. It is in a way a bummer, but honestly in Tekken they are also sort of gimmicks. They have one or two really brutal attacks, but otherwise not that special. Now I have to do it. Don't give him a chance. Finally. Still on schedule.
Winner!
調子に乗
行かせ
るな
てもらうわ地獄を見るわ
かかってきな
Get ready, fight!
And now I don't remember is Hayate or Hayabusa who is the other really annoying guy to play against. So far, doesn't seem like Hayate is the one.
Winner!
調子に乗るな
Get ready, fight! Now you need the deal. Okay, not too bad. Winner!
調子に乗るな
These stats were cool, especially when playing with friends and trying to keep track of all sorts of things. How did we do? How did you do? How did I do? What can we do better next time? And once again, this presentation is really cool. It's simple, but it's still efficient. I think the percentages are quite normal for me. 10% holds and then 20-30% throws. Not much left. Then one team battle mode, which was and is like the final mega challenge. Let's go with my main, my second, my third. Here where it's get tricky. I would probably pick Jack or Bayman here. I want some variety, so let's go with Helena, who is one more. pretty decent character. And then choose that. Let's take girl power. Let's go with girl power. Yes. This is a bit unfortunate list since in these multi-modes you will usually get only these levels and it's hard to choose. Let's go with Pancrash team, however you are supposed to say it.
倒すだけ勝負よ
Get ready.
This is also a great mode. Even if I put this game up randomly like this, I can still make this a long play since if I play every mode even once, it's already somewhat lengthy. So I perhaps want to just die. Give my other guys a chance. I think they heard me. Alright, thank you.
燃えるわ
Black belt me, evil version of me, but I want to die. So my third at least gets a chance as well. Oh no, now she's murdering.
頑張ったね
Alrighty. I never abused this zoom rotation system. But Tina is gorgeous, absolutely. Ten out of 10, just because of this. What else is left? Versus mode for 2-player only. Watch mode, actually surprisingly interesting, and sparring mode. Just perhaps take a quick sparring mode still. And see how many Kasumi moves I can do against sort of classic Hayabusa. Beach or Aguchi. Let's take beach. And some exercise. have to love how these combos are built. So you can often you can change your last attack to be high or low. Especially combined with the hold or counter mechanic. There's always the after every move there's this question. Do I aim up high or low? Back then on those early Xbox days I played a lot of this game. Actually all the way until 2005 or 6 when I got the 360. But still this is a nice game to return every now and then. Oh, that I didn't remember at all during the game. Sumigashi. Kyoto Enbu. Kawarukage. Tenrokyu. Yagu. I wouldn't mind some hand shut out of it. And that I forgot. And that's always fun. And that's always fun too. Too many concussions. And the teleporting was also amazing, but I didn't remember. Yeah. Perfect. I still got it. And let's find out some what's more since Xbox sold itself to me much because of the gorgeous graphics, so Maybe I actually now focus on you. You can be the make it. Yeah, that's fine. Let's make it like so. Yeah, that's fine. Probably most of the time the top 4. And you can go Lex Octagon.
Hit ready.
So yeah, Xbox sold itself to me much because of the groundbreaking graphics, and it's also translated into larger worlds and all the promise of that stuff. Halo has lots more going to it than just pretty sharp graphics. But I can say this isn't impressive. Early on I like to just look at this and think, what can they do with this kind of technology? It's a limited fighting game, but still it looks so amazing and plays so amazing. Maybe they can make GTA that plays and looks like something like this. Or sports games. Or platformer games. And all of that stuff. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but unfortunately it wasn't all roses forever. As I said before, perhaps Jet Set Radio, Sega GT, Halo, and this game, for example, spoiled me a bit. And elevated the expectations for future too high, too high. But still, this is almost peak video gaming ever. I'm also happy to see that the new Xbox original converter that I got seems to be working much better than the previous setup. But we will see with the next game how well does that expectation hold up. Okay, that's enough rolling demo action. It was a gorgeous idea also to have these showcase modes for a new console. I'm sure this thing sold a few Xboxes as well, and it's still fun. Every now and then for some time. And when I started to collect games again and all that, bought this modern Xbox for perfect gaming time. This was one of the games that I was thinking about. 4 controllers, Beautiful game, beautiful gameplay. Potential for this thing that you can leave it on and when even if you aren't actively at TV and in parties and so on. Perhaps some people will see this and just pick up the controller. Oh, I want to play this game. That's exactly what especially this early Xbox is for me. Perfect party console, but also great single player action. Anyway, on to the next game. Can't dwell too on this one or anyone. So, game number 2 for today. There it is, Amp. Missed it. Alright, audio. That sounds a bit quiet. I hope it's fine. So, really the wrong time to play this game in middle of summer, but originally 20 some years ago I did play this in summer quite a bit as well, so it's fine. This is a remarkable game. This was one of the reasons why Xbox seemed so interesting. Let me just see that the ambilight looks okay. It's a really bright game, so there might be some big contrast, but it seems for the most part quite fine now. So yeah, this game it was one of the launch games on original Xbox, and all over the console previews I saw lots of screenshots and really positive reviews and some early reviews as well, and it indeed looked gorgeous. I had played some Cool Borders on PlayStation, mostly the demos, and while I kind of liked them, yeah, comparing these games is not beautiful. Full Borders was really simplistic, and you can see all the polygons and how fake it all looks. Meanwhile, this game is just breathtaking, even today. Let's get this started a bit. Very shit there. Slow it. These I always prefer Atrix, so that's my focus. Not sure if this is a woman or man, but I remember if this was the guy I played as first. Let's see. It's still hard to say. First time I kind of thought he is a man, but his or her voice certainly is a bit high. Oh, the ambilight is really too bright for the general gameplay, so let me just tweak it a bit. Really annoying. Maybe there is some way to save or equalize these results, but that looks quite fine. You can see all the colors and it's not too bad. Oh yeah, it is a bit. Now let's go with this. This was my original, I'm going to keep that stuff can stay. I could change these, I guess, but I'm just going to pick something. The purple one looks fine, and those look fine. Goofy, regular. Well, I'm kind of goofy. Based on my short experience, so let's go with that. And some level select. So yeah, this was the third game on Xbox I actually bought myself. So during February 2023 I bought the console, got the Jet Set Radio and Sega GT bundle. A week or two later I bought Halo, a week or two later I bought Dead or Alive, and then we are only in the March, perhaps later part of March, when I saw Amped in the same shop where I got Dead or Alive, and it was also 29 euros something. So I really couldn't skip it. It was one of the must-haves. And immediately seeing this vista in front of me, it was just amazing. You can see the huge, absolutely huge slopes with amazing draw distance, all the other people snowboarding here and being kind of realistic. They do tricks, but they also fail sometimes, and all that kind of jazz. Yeah, there's the one of my friends pointed out, are you sure that's a guy? And that's when I first started to think, I'm not sure. But so, yeah, there were some friends who also really liked this game. My Xbox, I was the only person in my friend group who got this game. The Xbox fans borrowed this game for a while, at least one of them I'm sure. And some other friends like to come and play, made their own careers and tried the best they could. Perfect start. I'm still got it. At first it was really tough. Felt kind of like the first times I played Tony Hawk. Let's go with even more of this for now. And if I talked how amazing the modes and structure in Dead or Alive and Sega GT and even Halo and Jet Set Radio are, this is at least on par, perhaps even better. The way you have these goals, sensible goals on each slope, and then this portfolio stuff. This really hit my positive nerves back then. It's so goofy, yet there's a sense of nice progression as well. I was really interested in getting these, even if they are so simple. I maybe already choose the next one. Oh, there was the sponsor thing. Yeah. Oh, let's go with this one. This is a bit more big leap. The first one is really a tutorial kind of deal. And the pro challenges as well. Let's go with the long one. I have faith in my skills. Go with this one. Too much faith in my skills. I talked too early. For the first time it was really tough. This was probably closer to how I played the first time. Except I didn't even do this fancy trick since it's not like Tony Hawk, of course. In Tony Hawk you can quickly tap the buttons and get something done, but here you really need to plan which ramps to take, which rails to take, which route to take. But there is some cheap stuff like that as well. But it is an amazing game how you have these multiple large slopes that seem so lifelike with all the ski lifts and other snowboarders, and for example this part looks like a real slope with the cameraman and lifts and everything, and plenty of trees, and the background vistas are also amazing. There's so much to like. That's perhaps one reason why I'm a big rail guy. They are less impressive and more boring, and everything is about timing your jump. Well, at least I got that thing done. Now let's take some speed and balance. most likely to shred. And like all good games, this is the game that pushed me to try snowboarding. I wasn't ever that interested in it. Let's try sponsor. Didn't immediately remember what this is, but yes, now I had it. No. Ooh, wow. And this also you need to. It's just not about doing as many tricks as you can. You need to. It's better to do three tricks really well than 100 crappy tricks. Crappy tricks can ruin your run, which is sensible. No one wants to see a highlight video with boring, stupid tricks filled all the way. Ouch. Unlucky there. Let's see now. And there's a nice mix of this relaxing. You can relax just. There's no border around. Maybe take one more. Just try to enjoy the feel and perhaps get the media score as well. And in terms of longevity, it's all the filling your portfolio as you grow your reputation and try to become the world leader one. In snowboarding, it's really captivating to see my rank increase, even if there's no option for it to go lower. So when you are number one, you are number one. But it was a long challenge. I remember it taking quite some time. Ouch. So yeah, even if I bought the game on March, I still remember playing it in summer. Not exactly sure when did I reach rank 1, but that was really a special kind of feeling either way. Perfect. No, perfect. No. Get lost. Take the next one. So all these levels kind of have the same basic goals, high score and media score. It's really nicely built, and the sponsors and pro challenges give something more different. And there's the Explore, which is really nice. It's not the best thing, but it's still fun time sync to find all the laughing snowmen. That's annoying. But it was chance for some really good score. So So yeah, reaching rank 1 and seeing I still remember seeing the credit screen and the last victory screen. It was really a high and satisfying time of gaming history. And after I have bought this game, it felt really long time and same time short time how wow. Then I didn't buy more games or get new games until Christmas, so I was stuck with these 5 games for 9 months. And I didn't really mind it. All these were amazing games, and since I got some extra controllers, I managed to play some Jet Set Radio and Dead or Alive and Halo multiplayer, so it was all good. Now let's focus on my Bravado. An article in the Times. I'm already kind of happy with my career. Try sponsor thing here. So yeah, still at this point Xbox seemed unreal. This game as well, it looks amazing in terms of graphical detail, and then how organic all these slopes themselves, all the decorations here, their snow borders. I like it's kind of minimalist in there are no magic markers like in the Amber Tree. It starts to be way too arcade in all fronts. The audio side is good. The soundtrack has some really good songs, and I can use my own soundtrack, so that was another thing that Xbox was really good at, playing this and Sega GT with my custom soundtracks. And later on some other games. But the default soundtrack is also long and has some great songs. Also some fillers, but what can you do? Some broke gear, some clothes. Looks great, sounds great. The controls are hard to learn and hard to master, but once you learn them, they make quite a bit of sense. Perhaps in some ways it's not as addictive as Tony Hawk, but it's a good job. Let's try one Pro as well. Oh, now I already remember what it is. There is some random wonkiness, or I'm not sure if the control is a bit unresponsive when I miss some jumps and so on, but well, it's dangerous. And then there are the moments when you hit some tree on your airtime, and it feels kind of unfair at times, especially in these pro modes, since you need to follow the route, and if they jump in middle of trees, it's really precise.
That was a sick run. Let's do it again sometime.
Oh yeah, even tricks. A couple of these is nice to learn, but overall it's kind of pointless. Right, next one. So controls work well too, and the gameplay concept works good. Well enough. How you move around the slopes, just the casual boarding without any specific goals is fun. I did some of this with my friends and solo as well. It's a nice game to put every now and then, even if I don't try to do anything specific. The atmosphere is great and so on. But then there's of course the content built around the that was really risky. So yeah, the content, how you try to reach the top rank or rise up in the ranks. Oh, this is a really cool thing. Perhaps or no, it can be a checkpoint, but that's one of the kind of monkey things. You can rail there sometimes for insane points, and then sometimes you get stuck on something, and it's sometimes not perfectly, the hitboxes aren't perfect. But sometimes those random accidents are fun as well. So you do what you can. I'm missing something. There is still something to do. Darn. Hello. And there is one of those. Maybe I'm past him just. And this is all very satisfying, seeing my earning the medals and seeing my world rank go up, and then getting stuck and trying to think what to do next. How can I get some more skill points or better gear and learn the slows better and all that. My first illegal fan. That's one more here. And these options like here. That was risky. No, I'm just going to try again. Lot of this on my first times. After the initial learning curve, it just becomes a matter of getting the perfect run. On this level I still don't really need that perfect run to get this score, but it's good to have a great start. Well, that's not a great start, but it's a start. That's fine. I'm thinking what is the right way to go. It makes all the difference your path choice here. And since you get less points on repeated tricks, it's better to avoid doing the same in this media thing case. It's don't repeat the same tricks. Don't do them unnecessarily. Oh, this song I remember for some reason. Sometimes the scores don't really make sense, but I guess there's some kind of whoa. Some kind of smart system. I still have a chance, but I have 2 choices, 3 choices maybe. What is the right one? I'm going to stick with this one. Not yet enough. I'm going to go with this one. Not enough. Now I'm going to try one exploit if it works. This exploit also works sometimes, but it's hard to consider it cheating since you can only go upwards really slow and in some places. Yep. Already running out of things to say. And I need rank 28 to get to the last level, and still I remember that being some of the hardest times. Then revisiting these old levels to get enough medals to get higher and higher. And then when I get into top 10 and starting to really feel it, how I need to do it right now. I want to go there. Not bad, not bad. And stuff like these fog effects. Oh, and this is also annoying when they ruin my runs. But yeah, this pushed graphical spectacle in many ways as well. Oh, whoa, it was. At least I'm making some progress too. And here I needed to go there to get somewhere. Here I got too greedy as usual. There I'm not sure what happened. Oh, there was one of those efforts. And that's also something weird how sometimes it automatically rotates and it's not always clear which way it's. But as said, in equal measures the accidents are funny as well. Just until reaching the top 100. The more balance. It's middle of summer now, but it does make me want to get back to some more snowboarding. Maybe one try of this. No, I only want to maximize my media score, so no need to do anything else. There again, I tried to spin it the other way, but it already pushed me to the other direction a bit. Come on. Come on, come on. Grab it. Sometimes it's kind of undeserved how that one worked out, for example. I needed to get up there, but maybe this is enough. Yeah, going good, going good. There was some wonky jump as well. That's enough. I guess this video will be really bad for my copyright thing, but so far it has been fine as well. I know there are some YouTubers who say they won't cover these games at all, even if they make unmonetized videos because of risks, but I feel this is all or nothing. See the gear a bit. So now I've unlocked the next tier. Oh, there were quite a few. This fits the Xbox brand, so let's go with that. That looks nice and it improves my Switch a bit, so yes, let's go with that. This immediately, well, that's always. Let's go with these ones as well. And then there's the portfolio menu. Oh yeah, you can also save some replays and ski shred against them, so that's nice. And this is one of those. These are just so perfect from this era. So many games started to have a nice amount of things you need to collect with videos, with outfits, with all sorts of stuff. But it's not a flood like in modern games. It feels quite randomized how you can unlock thousands of outfits, and even at the start of game you might have 100 already open, so it's like what's the point? I already have a million options and then I will unlock million more, and the structure and gameplay concept is nothing as good as this, not anywhere close to it. Now I need to do something else. 95. Okay. I really wanted to get to Aldebaran since it's a bit different, but let's see. Maybe if I can manage to get the sponsors solved quickly. At least I was kind of worried with this game that the Ambilight might look really boring, but actually that's really nicely shaded. It's not just white and blue, but lots of shades and variation. But still calm, that's also important. It's not just a disco ball with colors chasing million miles an hour. And in these sponsor things it's also important not to, or it can be a strategy not to do a million tricks. Just get the meter full and then try to get to the finish line before your sponsor is bored. Free hot dog, thank you. Sponsor 2. I also need to get one of those matter S. That was unintended. And it's one of those games, yet another game just like in Dead or Alive. It's cool to have just the show mode, watch mode, what it's called. And watch the action here. It's another game where the replays look nice, and it was fun to see my friends play the game as well. It's a spectacle, and there are enough options for the other player to do, and the AI as well to do. It's interesting to see. Overall, I'm not sure. I perhaps played this twice. On Xbox I had this thing that I played the games yes on original time, but then at some point I replayed most of the games. Again in chronological order. But that was already 20 years ago. Back when this Xbox was still the main thing. You like rails, but my tricks are also so amazing that you can't help yourself. another great aspect. In many other games it would be that you need to do rail tricks and everything else is a minus, but this game has this sense of style, as did many games from back here. But so yeah, I think I completed this game twice until rank 1. I have a faint memory I reached top 1 the second time, so now it's a question, should I try to go for rank 1 also during this video series with the Ambilight and all. Perhaps. I think this is my go-to. I have a love-hate relationship with this slope. It's really so much different than the others that it's fun, but let's go. Let's keep it all down. It's so different and it looks kind of barren and deserted and in a way boring, but it's also so. If some other slopes are organic, then this is something else. I can taste the snow and feel all the danger. One could complain that you can't get injured in this game, but that's something if that's your thing. I just missed. Really so much powder snow here. And a tune that really fits this. I forgot to brake before. The braking thing is also really fun, both useful in functional performer but also stylish. You can really be a snowboarder. They thought about everything. Let's go with this and improve my weaknesses a bit. That was maybe something fun. Let's still try this, then maybe it's time to move on. Because I just realized one thing important about these games, but I get to it in a minute. Because I just realized there was Ampere 2 as well, and I'm still on the fence regarding that. There existed some videos which were kind of promising, but at the same time, like, this is so good game, and do I want to get more of the same in a way when the oh no, that's double minus. Too much time spent doing nothing. Oh, hurry, 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 hurry. I just made it. I'm top 90, that's fine. Oh yeah, I never got Ampere 2, and after playing Ampere 3 on X360 or the demo, then I really got worried since that 3 is just a clown show, and based on what I know about 2, it also becomes a clown show. Here you have this sort of comedic stuff with the snowman and this portfolio and some other stuff, but it's still really rooted. I just wanted to see if this is about me. Yeah, that's me. I got on TV. That's everyone's dream. So leave the carrier here for the moment. I guess it had autosave, so that's fine. Just a quick start for some random fun. And I also like this art. How it explains everything in a kind of same way that Halo has the funny explanations. Then there's the party mode. Perhaps I have a short party. Some car. Ariana, Jeremy and Scott Sorensen. That's fine. Yeah, I played some of this mode as well with... Let's maybe just go with 1 since... let's go with 3. Game select. Every round hot seat round winner. Yeah, let's go with this. And this. That's all fun. And now let's choose the most sensible one. So yeah, Unpad 2 kind of seemed, I'm still not exactly sure. I have looked at some YouTube videos during COVID and after COVID, and even in the last month or so. Unpad 2 is still one of the original Xbox games that are kind of interesting, but at the same time it worries me greatly. This is so stunning game, one of almost perfect. And if Unpad 2 is going to be kind of the same as exhaustive experience with all the ranking and all that stuff, but also boring in terms of gameplay, yeah. No. And the stupid, ridiculous stuff like in Unpad 3. So maybe not. I'm really satisfied with this game. One other disappointment was that this multiplayer is hot seating. It would have been amazing if this was 2-player or even 4-player split screen. I kind of understand why not, but it was a running wish with all Xbox games. They should have 4-player split screen in some way. That would have been a real pipe dream, and it's one reason why Xbox 360 was kind of a disappointment, and after that I gave up, since we are just getting farther and farther away from that. Now PS5 and Series X are lucky to have any even 2-player support is kind of rare. Only in some sort of repetitive and cliched games. Like, yeah, you can do fighting games that have 2 players, and you can do some sports games that have multiple players, but where are the more ambitious games? Halo with 4-player split screen and up to 16 bots and so on. Nowhere. What is this? Well, yeah, I can change it. I wanted to change the slope, but I can't. But yeah, even as this, we had some fun with some friends. Some friends thought this was boring, but some were excited about the party elements. Especially combined with Dead or Alive, Halo, and then some AMP, and so on. We did have some kind of mini Game Olympics, I guess. So it's hard to fault the hot seat multiplayer thing. It's not the best, but things got way worse later on. Can you make a recovery? No, that wasn't enough. And I did remember I also played this mode like this a couple of times when I was out of ideas, especially after that March and waiting 6 months for the next game. 9 months, something. That's that, that's that, that's that. Let's hope that's enough. No. Decent score, would have won, but nope. This hot seat multiplayer really emphasizes how many ways you can choose to approach this challenge. Do you go left? Do you go right? In the next turn, do you go left or do you go right? Do you choose the ramp? Do you choose the rail? It really captures the spirit of boarding. Okay, the winner is clear. Just the king of the hill. I'm not all sure what it was. Let's go with the basic one. What is king of the hill? I really don't remember.
Is this guy serious?
Not a great start for the leader. Ah, yeah, it's this thing. Now I remember. Yes, I have played this quite a bit. Especially in this mode, I was kind of unbeatable. I didn't always choose the best roads to take and not had the best success, but now is my chance. Now is my chance. Nope. I can't overcome my stats, I guess. That's good, that's good, that's very good. And that's enough. Yeah. I did snuff that one. Now I'm on in the mood, so now I probably will dominate. Yeah, I didn't always choose the best routes, but if I can follow someone or someone has to follow me, I was usually the superior one. Is that it? I guess that's it. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, this game entertained me for 9+ months, so it can't be bad. At least dozens of hours sunk into it, and with the other 4 games it formed my early Xbox life. And it was a mix of not having that much money and not really needing that many games. I played games with friends. Some friends had GameCube, some friends had PCs, some friends had PlayStations. It was a good mix. And now the game demos. This is the last thing that's... Actually, this isn't the best one. But these were kind of interesting things as well. Since most early games had these demos and videos, and it built this natural ecosystem that encouraged me to think that all the games from Halo to Project Gotham Racing to Amped are somehow linked in terms of universe. Amped is happening right now, and in 400 years in the future the Covenant will appear, and somewhere down the line, or actually same time as the people in Amped are snowboarding around, the guys in Gotham are racing, and so on. I would consider these spoilers, so perhaps not at this point. Maybe just this one. No, that's enough. Let's go back and see the circle of Amped. Those videos and demos didn't give much, but it was still an idea. That perhaps I would like Rail Sport Challenge and Project Gotham Racing once they have decent price and I can see them in shops, and things went on from there. But that's not this episode, so overall Amped is another great, even superb, depending on my mood and my day. Great sports game, a great game overall, with some minor nitpicks, but especially as time goes on I realize the nitpicks are smaller and smaller. There aren't really many games that would surpass this one either. But there's still one more game to cover in this video, so see you there. game number 3 for today. Another real stunner. I'm actually really happy to get to these games. And I'm quite satisfied with Ambilight on first try too. Or how the camera captures it. So the game's called Splinter Cell. Someone might have heard about it. It's one of those groundbreaking, revolutionary games as well. I didn't know so much about it and didn't really care back then, since it was this sort of realistic kind of human real world military game. With more TV audio. So yeah, before this I think there were the Ghost Recons and some other games on PC and so on. I never cared about it or them. And neither really about this until sometime kind of early on. One of my friends had Xbox before me, slightly before me. He still got the same bundle with Jet Set Radio and Sega GT. And one time he had this game on when I visited him, and I saw the first level or parts of the first level, and I was thinking, my god, what is this game? But let's move on. The intro was already spectacular when I finally got to play this all by myself. Let's see. Extra features. Ah, yeah, and I need to get to extra features as well for a short time. Sam would have been fine, but let's stick to the short time tradition. Difficulty, I've completed this on hard. This is one of those games where I'm not sure how much it actually affects. Yeah, you die faster, but if you get noticed, you're often in deep trouble anyway. I guess they hear you a bit better and so on as well, but that seems like minuscule difference. So yeah, my first experience with this game was something. I'll get to it soon, but then as I got amped in March 2003, then all the year passed until Christmas, and before Christmas I was looking for something to ask for Christmas as a present, and I remember there was this and a couple of other games. I think Marvel Ultimate Alliance was one option, but it costed 70 euros or something, and this was only 19, I think. So I remember the magical moments at my friend's place. I never borrowed the game or anything. I just moved on. I think I only played it once at the friend's house anyway. I kind of forgot it. But the first time I played this, already the news segments really impressed me. Another example of how lifelike games had become. And there's this, even just this one camera angle and scene, it's so impactful. Later on I started to watch 24, the series, and this has all that the light coming from the
I can't believe you beat me here.
window, the flag moving in the background, the subtle
Good to see you again.
musical
I
cues,
trust NSA orientation is going well.
and somewhat dry
Everybody's
but
been
still
real coy about what exactly I'm allowed to know.
It's the nature of the agency.
interesting
We don't let any one
dialogue.
person know everything, which means we've all
This
gotta
game
work
also
together.
made up Michael Ironside one of my
You'll be
extreme
translated to us
favorites.
in more ways than you can imagine.
I started to follow his movies and TV
And that's how we're handling training.
appearances.
Sorry to make you run the course. I know you've been taking care of yourself.
I haven't been in the field in years.
Sure. But trade
And I
graphics
bought a
something
map
you don't forget.
kind of like that and tried to mimic this style. So the evening sun
Be careful, Fisher. Everything we
dimly
say is
lights
being
it.
monitored.
And
You found out
I
some
love it.
rashes about exercising
I
within
love the
reason.
aesthetics of this
Be
game.
better than good. Third Echelon is a brand new initiative. The role aggressive intelligence operations will play in NSA's future will depend largely on your performance. I'll see you on the far side of the course. All right, Sam. Let's get started. Can you hear me clearly?
Hi there.
Good. That means the implanted speaker is working correctly. Now, the technicians here want to calibrate your equipment. Can you turn to the red emergency light on the wall to your left?
They made even tutorials interesting at this point, since it's like an actual
Same thing for pitch.
mission.
Look for another light up in the rafters on the
There's some purpose besides just
Excellent.
run around and do as the
All right, Fisher. We'll get through this as quickly as
screen tells you
We'll
to
start
do.
simple. Climb up onto that ledge. That pool.
There's instantly this dynamic between Sam and Lambert.
We'll let you do your thing here. You're looking at your basic assault course. I'll chime back in once you passed it.
And at some point there was some video game TV show, and I also had a magazine that covered the PS2 game, and it looked like shit compared to this game, honestly. And that was one moment when I was really happy that yet another moment, and it was good reason to be happy that I had got an Xbox instead of sticking with PS2. I knew it. This is one of the nitpicks about these games, that the climbing controls seem to vary. Sometimes it's Y, sometimes it's B, where you do something. I could read the instructions, but I'm past that. Again. Climbing iron fences. Something we all did as a kid back then. And there was a moment when I was playing, I'm something like Sam Fisher or Splinter Cell, leaning across around the walls and trying to walk around or crouching, walking around stealthy, and having some periscopes and whatever I had, or some augmented stealth action.
Good job, Fisher. As soon as you can find a way over the gate, we'll move on to covert ops training.
And I played this. One thing I could talk about all the time is the virtual tourism. Even this one first level has all the secrets related to these, and oh yeah, it was like this. It's graphically super impressive, and the audio is amazing, both the dialogue and the subtle music's and the whole AI plus everything else. You sneak around and observe the AI. Sometimes having random discussions and all this stuff here as well. If the atmosphere in Amped was amazing, it's
You're moving on into covert ops.
even more so here.
Sneak through the area without being detected. You've got live bodies in there. Some of the top CIA instructors have kindly volunteered to be your victims.
Yeah.
The next door is locked, Sam. You'll need to use your lockpicks to get through it.
Oh yeah. That was the... It's a small bummer now. I can see I originally played this on SD-TV, and this might be the first time I'm playing it on HD-TV, and I can see the
This next door is
graininess is
Mad
definitely
Dog Ignore
there.
has the code to open it, but he's been instructed not to cooperate. Convince him otherwise.
I would prefer to play it on something less accurate, or perhaps with component cables, but I need the Ambilight experience, especially with this game.
Hi there.
Hi.
You're not going easy on me, are you?
Not so tight. That hurts.
Sorry about that.
And these moments
What's
as
the
well.
door code?
Magic.
28469.
It was a pleasure working with you.
Likewise.
2, 8, 4, 6, 9. Remember that. I almost remembered it anyway.
This next door is retinal scanner locked. These things are cheap and near impossible to hack. Fortunately, it's just a matter of getting the right eyes to the scanner, usually an officer. The gentleman ahead is registered for the scanner. Convince him to open the door for you.
Yeah. And the radio chatter and static and all that stuff as well. It's everything builds the ambience. It's not like PS1 where everything is just a video game. It's just fine balance, since modern games do the virtual tourism in a way even better, but not in all cases. For example, the later Splinter Cell games clearly are too much about action and Hollywoodism.
You've got a network of photocells on your outfit connected to a visibility meter on your OPSAT. If the meter's at 4, you lit up like a Dutch broth.
Everything feels like a theater. Here it feels like a real place.
Intruder on surveillance camera.
I wonder if the
I saw you on the monitor, Sam. Let's try that again.
this might actually that doesn't seem to do much, so I'm a bit worried about the audio levels here, but since I have now 2 channels it should be fine. The Xbox is making some noise, so
Security cam's got an intruder in the
darn. So yeah, during
Saw you on the monitor, Sam.
that Christmas I spent a lot of time playing this game and completed it. One thing this game did was it was perhaps the first game that kind of ruined my social circus for a moment. Oh no, what's happening?
I saw you on the monitor, Sam. Let's try that again.
I remember I was playing the later levels when some friends were calling and telling me I should oh yeah, now I remember what's the point. Calling and saying that we should hang out, but I was saying that no I can't, and I was playing the Abattoir and the last level and some others.
Some cameras are more fragile. All you'll need to do to get past them is shoot them.
Oh yeah, this was the... I'm not sure how many years it's since I last played the game. I played this countless times back when Xbox was a new thing. And come on. That has to be a record. Something is wrong with the game. It never takes 7 bullets to hit.
Sometimes the only way to pass a camera will be to stick to existing shadows and time your movements. Knock out the guard in the corridor and hide his body before the patrolling guard finds it.
Well, it was a tough contest, especially between this and Halo, which is my favorite game and which is my favorite series.
Let's bring in another guard to evaluate your work.
I guess it depends on day, so rating this is really difficult. This was in a way the first game where virtual turrets, I really started to think about this thing, what makes this game so special, and then I started to say virtual turrets is something that it's a term, an actual term to use.
Good work, Sam. Remember that
All the
discretion is critical
water
to our
fountains and the
covering up the evidence
things on the
is
sails,
proof.
the
We're
shadows,
all way towards proving our
all the
usefulness.
radio chatter, all the how the NPCs behave and how they have these random conversations, especially later on when they don't know I'm there.
The next hallway's the same
And
idea,
the
but
emails
without
that you can eavesdrop,
monitoring a few hidden mics.
sometimes talking about nonsense. Nothing to do with the gaming action, but still being super immersive. There are some nitpicks, especially when compared to the sequels, with how some of the
Have you started yet? Fisher, holy Christmas, you're at the end. Phenomenal work. Let's
how
move
to
on.
say fail states or certain AI quirks don't make sense and are kind of frustrating, but especially after completing the game a couple of times I can ignore them.
It's gotta be him.
Yep. Sam Fisher.
I know the problem, so I
Introduce you to
avoid
Vernon
them.
Wilkes Jr. Hello.
Hey, I've heard crazy things about your work.
I hope you don't mind. I told him some of your stories from Kuwait.
We're all friends here.
Right on.
Junior Wilkes is a longtime NSA employee. He'll be your wheels, wings, and weapons. He coordinates transportation and equipment.
Great.
For sure. Man, you must be itching to get back out in the field, huh?
It's all I'm good at.
Well, it's all we need. Welcome to the NSA.
I'm sure things are going to come together famously. Third Echelon is a brand new initiative, and we're going to have a lot to prove.
Right.
The two of you will be Third Echelon's first team on the ground. Be ready for it, and do us proud. Welcome to the NSA.
Cutscenes like this also have this really low-fi style to them. The camera angle is a bit off and everything, but the focus is where it should be when you want to make this kind of dry drama thing.
Is this going to sting?
Go ahead.
Hold that.
Christ, this is spooky.
What's that?
Grim's sticking wires in your head, man.
I just need to sync the encryption signature between his subdermals and Fort Meade.
Don't like that.
I know. It's for after we land. You better hurry up, Grim. We touch down in Georgia in 15.
I'm already done. Lambert? Hey, Irving, do you read me?
Tell her I read her.
He reads you.
Good. You ready to get to work?
I'd feel better if I knew what was going on.
You know what you need to. The CIA lost a mole inside Georgian President Khomeini Nikolaev's cabinet. Her name is Alice Madison. They sent in Agent William Robert Blaustein to find her and lost him too.
Are we working with the CIA's cooperation?
Blaustein is outfitted with subdermals just like yours. That'll be your best lead to find him.
You didn't answer my question.
We'll tell you what you need to know. You're not out there alone, Fisher. Through me, you're attached to a dozen of the best NSA minds we have. There are political complexities with Georgia you need a week to understand.
I've just about memorized this speech language.
Well, start believing it. This is Third Echelon's maiden voyage, and we need it to go smooth as butter. You're about to touch down in Georgia. Get ready.
There's this mix of James Bond and Mission Impossible and some more realistic thing, and it's a great combo. I'm a bit mixed about that TV thing, since the Ambilight already looks really impressive, how the faint colors work, but the TV resolution itself is a bit unfortunate.
Fisher, the sun's down. Time to go to work. Finding Agent Blaustein's our first priority. We're to locate him through a local NSA contact.
I'm on my way.
And stay off the streets. There's a heavy cop presence in this town. We don't have Washington's backing if this turns into an incident. Details on your offset.
I don't know. I didn't do too well there. Immediately some suspicions. But still, I remember the first time it was Christmas. I mean, I first played this level, or most of it, along my friend. But when I got to play this by myself on Christmas Eve, and it was all pitch black everywhere. Now it's summer, so it's a bit not the perfect analog.
Don't tell me. Birgit is inside there.
But
Why would I tell you what you already know? You're gonna have to hurry. Grimstad is comparing a
still the graphics are still impressive, and how I remember it.
house blueprints. Guiding you through.
All the fires.
Sorry about that. Get back into the hall and go to the stairwell at the far end. Make it fast. You've only got a few seconds.
All these fine tunes there are. And the fire looks great. Finally some reds and yellows. And even on camera they look
Jesus, now it's close.
quite
Take the left
alright.
just ahead and cut through the room. You'll find a stairwell on the opposite corner. Take it to the top floor.
Ow, 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 ow.
The contact is in this room. Let's hope to God he's still alive.
Gerganidze.
Yeah,
I'm NSA. We're gonna get you out of here.
don't bother. I'm as good as dead. You're looking for Blaustein and Madison.
Yeah.
Madison was deep into Nikolaz's cabinet. She was onto something big. Blaustein must have figured it out.
How do I find him?
Blaustein's black box, tracking the relay for his subdermals. It's stashed in his safe house just east of Morelli Square.
Lambert, do we have resources to evac this guy?
I said don't bother. Whatever Madison found, it's dead. She kept saying proof would mean war. I think Nikolaz wanted...
Gerganidze checked out.
Leave the corpse for the fire. Less to explain to his family.
You've got a safe exit on the west side of the room. Take it.
Oh, I must remember. A really nice small town. All the house lights, the decorative lights, all the gardening stuff. It's just virtual tourism, so to say.
That was pretty tight. Still breathing?
Doing my best.
Good. Blaustein's black box is your next objective. It's running standard agency trade trap. You will find the box behind a fake bookshelf or wall panel.
Stuff like this can be a bit tricky. I remember falling there a couple of times.
Because those are my orders. I speak to Vyacheslav Grinko or no one. As Grinko, yes sir. This is Keteman.
What happened there? Really not what I wanted to do.
You're good as dead.
But that's part of the fun also. Just playing the game as it should be. As if it's a real deal, there are no restores. There have been times when I've played this organic, just doing whatever happens. But also, I've done a coast playthrough, and that's actually this house apartment was really one of the moments that really showed what this game is. Having the TVs, the computers you can access, get some emails and whatever. Getting some object around that you can draw. And all the physics are, well, not all the physics are great. There is a certain stiffness, like how here I stand on the small cardboard box, but still in this moment when I felt like some kind of cat burglar snooping around a nice looking house, pressing all the computers, finding secret doors.
Blaustein's heart stopped beating 43 hours ago.
Any reason the CIA wouldn't know about this?
Nope.
Listed in the share.
The subdermal went offline 6 hours after he died. Last active position was in a police station a few blocks away. Check your upset.
Having some light switches and all this. Everything builds the story, how the two thugs here have effed up everything in the house. not really what not really doable on yeah, not really doable on PS1, and even on PS2 you would have some more modesty. It's a tricky question, since I like to think that I am not that interested in graphics and all that, but I mean, how in modern games I don't really care about graphics at all. But this somehow struck a good nerve. This is, in a way, some sort of break-even point. Xbox is really impressive, and
Bishop, I'm receiving
X360 is already a bit
monitoring the Tbilisi police radio. These cops are
for the most part.
defense. They're not going to want any more international attention than we do. Every road is open to you. Do what you've got to do to find those missing spooks.
There are the exceptions like Oblivion and Dead Rising with the amount of NPCs it has. But when I look at Sega GT or Amped or this, there isn't much else that I would ask from graphics or audio or general presentation or gameplay depth or controls. There is some wonkiness in this game, and in many.
I think we could set you up with a slab real easy. I've done nothing. Please.
Nothing? How about drunk and disorderly, assaulting a police officer, slandering the badge?
You said we're associated with criminals.
Then arrest me. I must sleep. Weren't you listening?
The rent's gone up in jail.
You want to die tonight? That's free. You want to sleep tonight? It will cost you 100 lari.
Please, I don't.
I need to be really quiet. I'm fully immersed into this
Now,
action.
what are we going to do with him?
Check his pockets. I'll radio HQ.
Sure.
Where is the guy?
Unit 3 to dispatch. We have a 1053. Possible assault. Can you send an ambulance?
Copy that, Unit 3, but we're dealing with a warehouse fire, so expect delay.
Roger that, dispatch. We'll wait with the victim. Unit 3 out.
So,
Something we can
And there's
build
this
on cost.
great balance between
good thinking.
Mission Impossibles opportunities for violent action, upbeat action, and then some super efficient total deniability. Blah, 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 blah. You didn't see anything. One thing I liked in this game over Conviction, for example, or Blacklist, is that, as the game says, you are supposed to not leave any traces. If you leave bullet casings or anything, it might mean diplomatic issues and World War III. Of course, I already kind of broke the rule, but it's possible to have my own head cannon. Why I'm allowed to shoot someone? How I can make it? How can it be explained as a inside job or some gangbangers or whatever? ways this is sort of unrealistic and funky, but get out. Yeah. Too efficiently, it was anyway interesting, but to efficiently coast you need to sort of know where you are. But the game has nice amount of options like these. Come on. Like for example this, it's really easy to explain it as some sort of hit and run. I'm not exposed yet. But yeah, in Blacklist and Conviction and some others as well, it becomes impossible to use any logic like that. We might have time just for this one level, it's unfortunate, but this is definitely one of those games that I could play for longer time, depending on interest and schedules. Again.
Who in the hell are you supposed to be? Is there anybody else seeing a biome?
And this stuff as well. Simple and kind of a gimmick, but makes all the difference in you feeling like this badass operative. So many nice slow moments when you can just listen to the calm beats and see some nice lights. This was my decision. The prisoners might know of something, but they are untrustworthy. How can I open this anymore? Yep. Remember, you went outside and you got hit to the head. Let's also say that I'm going to kill you if you tell anyone. I'm a ghost. And I like this. All these visual aspects like the PC screens being dimly lit. Some lights over there and reflecting on the desk here. And if I get in trouble, I can always use this. You are the other guy. This is like the mother of games that makes me have all sorts of imaginations. ER24. Ah, no. Okay, that was weird.
One false move and you're dead. I need information.
Okay.
I'm looking for 2 Americans. Probably dead.
Gringo will kill me.
Where are they?
Nearby. They mark. They're dead. I helped the mortician find the microchips under their scalps.
Subdermals.
Yeah. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me.
Where do I take the body? Where do I take the body? Let's go see if your or my friends are here, as you say. I like some darkness. Oh no, I need to save my ammo. I guess it's dark enough right here. Where is the camera? Right over there. Ah! How is that possible?
This operation is based around stealth. Your arms.
I've never done this like this. Oh, it's you. Okay, I guess everyone knows me now, but in a way this is a nice cover story. What super agent would F up like this?
I've got Agents Blaustein and Madison.
Rest in peace. Somebody cut out for the subdermals.
Where do we go from here?
We follow the subdermals if we can.
There's a security camera here.
Good thinking. We'll track the subdermals from the video archives. The station surveillance room is on the top floor.
Oh yeah, I can get there, but I don't want to get there, so... I might need some ammo, but it builds some tension to be stuck with this. Still one other thing, since at least in Conviction you had infinite ammo, so the game was built around mandatory shooting.
I'd like to talk to your superior. Perhaps I can help you, sir. By fetching your superior. I'm all that is. How can I help? I'd like to register. Then you'll have to ask at the desk to your right. Anywhere.
And this stuff I love too.
May I help you?
Some
Yes, but
optional comedy.
I
Nice comedy on this part of the world. Now I'm almost there. Now I really like it. And even the Ambilight still looks quite good. Dun 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 dun. What's happening? You got electrocuted. Sorry. Now perhaps move the body just a bit, in case the other one decides to come here.
Great work, Fisher. We're scanning the videotapes now.
There, that's our guy. We got him red-handed.
Can you run his face through Echelon?
Already on it. Hey, check it out. A license plate. 84KP214.
Fantastic. Fisher, we got what we need. Rendezvous with Wilkes. Your work here is done. We'll get back to you once we've sifted this intel.
Thank you. Looks so gorgeous. I must have completed this game 15 times at least, and for sure I have wanted to cover every nook and cranny in the game. All the extra rooms upstairs and so on. Even if now I skipped all the extra emails and stuff. Can read this now if you haven't, and if you're interested, but let's go on.
A steady rise in Georgia's economy.
Some more
Once
great
central
news.
to the former Soviet Union's development and manufacture of weapons, Georgia has recently resurfaced as a potential player in the world military industry, with active contracts in Russia, Turkey, Germany, and even has stated the need, especially in these times, for a reliable source of oil in the Middle East. Commerce Secretary Moore, on a visit to Azerbaijan this morning, noted the tiny nation's enormous potential for oil, calling on American investors to provide the necessary funds for tapping the reserves.
In many ways, a leader from a bygone era. His beliefs are very firmly founded in Georgian orthodoxy. His political standings more in line with the early 20th century.
Would you fault him then as a politician?
No, not at all. Kumbe Nikolaevich is all politician. He's done wonders for the Georgian economy. A brilliant tactician. It's more a question of ethics.
And ethically speaking?
Well...
I remember the basic gist of the story and the game, but still I'm interested. What was the exact secret right now? I think I know, but still curious to see it again.
Echelon got a positive ID on your target from the Morgue security cameras. A guy named Vyacheslav Grinko.
How do I find him?
By his license plate.
And if he's not with his car?
Then his driver will be. Grab him and make him talk. Don't be afraid to use force.
Who? Me?
And this thing right here was what cemented this magic of the game.
So I stay out of the courtyard.
Don't let them trigger any alarms at all. We still don't have any official approval from the Joint Chiefs for this operation, so one slip up and it's mission over.
This 24-esque sunset, glaring some orange light on the walls there and the windows there, and quite nice skybox, even if this TV doesn't really serve that. Back there, but then the smoke coming from there, the flags waving, and the rappelling. The rappelling was what sealed the deal. You have everything that super agent can want to do. Just to be sure, no harm done. You just had a stroke or yeah. Every room is a piece of art. I want to get to the computer. Something happened with that as well. Now because of Ambilight I might want to, even normally I want to spend a bit less time with the night vision goggles, but now especially. Wow. And all this stuff like, whoa, I had this. He's not there. Too fast, but no matter. Risk of getting caught is minimal, and anyway I have to quit soon, so it's fine either way. Every room is a piece of art, even the way Sam's goggles light up. I'm not exactly. Yeah, I think I should anyway get down first. Yeah, that's the whole thing. So perhaps now next save point, and that's about it. Some malfunction as well. Carry on. Carry on. So yeah, 15 times I've covered everything and have played the coast rounds. Maybe actually one more thing since, well no. Coast rounds being as stealthy as possible and restarting the game every time I do something wrong, or from the last save point. Who is it? Who is it? Yeah, this car bit is cool thing to see once more. The extras that there are, yeah, let's just stick with this.
What the hell? I'm going to ask you some questions. I think you're lying. I'll do this. Who do you work for?
Vyacheslav Grinko.
Tell me about him.
He used to be Spetsnaz. Now he's mercenary. He works for President Nicholas.
Where do I find Rico?
He's meeting Mass in the elevator by the courtyard.
Who's Mass?
Philippe Mass, some computer guy. He has access to Nicholas's office.
What's this meeting about?
I don't know. I swear, it's gotta be something bad if Nicholas is willing to see Grinko face to face.
I need you to understand we never talked.
I understand.
Good. Convince me we never talked.
If anybody finds out, Grinko will murder me.
And you're frightened of Grinko.
God, yes!
That's a good answer. Thank you.
I want to hear what Grinko and Mass talk about in that elevator.
I'll need to deactivate the courtyard laser grid to get in position.
Then do it.
Overall, there's so much to say. It looks amazing, it sounds amazing. And all the AI isn't perfect, but it has all the important things like how they whistle and sing and do all sorts of things, so they don't feel just like some obstacles. They feel like people. Game is lengthy enough. There's depth in all kinds of ways. Yeah, virtual tourism is a great one word to describe it, and this is still exceptional in that regard. And all games that deal with virtual tourism are in some way among my favorites. Do I? Yeah, if I go to computer, there's always the risk that the backlight reveals me. That's at least how I recall this working. Alright, and now we reach one of the toughest moments. Actually, no, I don't think there are any bodies out in the open. That was one of the super annoying things. I got really stuck here, since one alarm means game over, and it's kind of funny how the alarm thing works right here. I always thought there's some kind of laser around this balcony. Alright, let's go to the exit. The channel is still somewhat quiet, but if you particularly want to see more Splinters, let me know. And this is definitely near the top of my list. Even this now, the light looks just amazing. But what else? What else? Once again, these extras are super important. I have some game ideas, and this really gives me some inspiration, all this stuff. Wait, this maybe not so much, it's just backstory for the... Now I have both of these games, but much later. originally I skipped both of them. All this stuff was super interesting. But let's finish with a bit of this.
Sam's a very frightened guy. You know, that's why he sort of walks into this stuff like, hi, I'm gonna kill you. Because if you're a happy guy, you can go, hi, I'm gonna kill you. Here we go. Fisher interrogates enemy soldiers who obviously have no information, but he just interrogates them for the hell of it. Stay quiet. You don't want your life to end in the boys' room. I want you to answer some questions. Stay quiet. You don't want your life to end in the boys' room. I want you to answer some questions. When I'm breaking down a character, I usually try and find 6 to 8 levels of emotion.
Yeah, Michael Ironside became perhaps the most important video game character or a phenomenon.
Why is the Russian military here? Why is the Russian military here? Well, it's very hard to do something in an artificial environment.
Still presenting the conviction, and conviction was almost the threshold when I noticed that I don't really care that much about games. Slowly I noticed that my old hero started to fall, so to say.
Given the limitations of the dialogue,
games were changing and diminishing returns hitting
I succeeded. Let me do this last one.
as well.
Bob's your uncle.
But definitely the music of this game also deserves some recognition, and the Light and Shadow gameplay is amazing. The building levels, of course, the virtual tourism wouldn't exist without it, so all this stuff is super important as well. It's just a magical game. There's no other way to say it. But that's 3 down again, and let's see what I can cook up for the next time. Maybe I return to this Splinter Cell at some point, but still many more games to go. But anyway, these 6 games as my Xbox starters were something truly magnificent. Different genres, but all games really groundbreaking and revolutionary, and still really fun. This might be the best bunch of games I've played in this video series so far. All super hits. Yeah, thanks, and until next time.